What is going on, guys? Today we are revisiting NHL 2K10 with the question of whether or not it's better than NHL 25. And I'm going to do a little bit of a different spin on this game because obviously for the rest of the videos we've done in a series so far, we've been revisiting EA games. So this one is the first 2K game that I'm revisiting, and I think instead of we'll talk about the gameplay a little bit and presentation, when appropriate, but I think it's important to talk about 2K's place in the NHL video game kind of history and why there's so many people today that want to see it come back. I'm sure there's a lot of you guys that haven't even seen NHL 2K gameplay. You don't even know what it looks like. So it's important to set kind of context so everybody understands why there's this kind of yearning for 2K to take control of the series again and get back involved with hockey. So without further ado, let's just hop into it. Presentation was obviously different. It was fun.
And we've got it on 2K Sports.
Definitely a different approach from EA. I think it was more crisp. It honestly, it was pretty similar to kind of what you see from NBA 2K today, right? I mean, if you look at the ice is freaking unreal. Looks great. I think the ice in this game actually looks better than what we have in NHL 25 today. That's just my personal opinion. I like the way that this ice looked. And this is 15 years ago. And that's saying something because if you go back to any of the old NHL games, the EA NHL games, the ice does not look better than the ice today. It looked cool for its time, but well, actually, it depends on which NHL. I don't want to overspeak on that. Some of the NHLs actually it looked pretty good, which is crazy. But typically, the new NHL's ice looks pretty solid compared to the old NHL game. But look at that. Look at that. I mean, that's solid. I love the way you lined up for the face-offs and everything. Just great stuff. But again, the focus today more is on 2K itself, right? And what they were doing with the game. Where did they leave the game? Like, what state did they leave the game in when they stopped making these games? So this is actually the second to last 2K game. The last 2K was, I believe, 2K11. I'm pretty sure it was 2K11, so this is 2K10. So this is pretty close to the end for the 2K series. And I gotta say, the game was left in a pretty good state. Scoreboard looks cool. The presentation looks great. You have NHL commentators. They were really neck and neck with EA. They weren't. There was no. Despite what any numbers may have said, I honestly, I mean, you guys can let me know, but I'm pretty sure that 2K was holding its own. Like they weren't getting absolutely dwarfed by EA at the time. I think they were holding, they were obviously doing well enough that there was a reason for them to continue making these games. So, and it just, it makes you wonder, like, what could they have done? What directions? I mean, the possibilities were limitless. And I mean, obviously you look at NBA 2K, the success that it had, and especially from, moving into those early 2010s into the mid 2010s, what they did with their series and how they innovated, what they did with the park and my career and everything. I mean, just so many unbelievable what NBA did. And NHL was probably on the same track, right? NHL 2K, that is. They're probably on the same track. And it also raises the question of, is the problem with the games today, with NHL 25, is the problem with the games that they're putting out that there's just no competition anymore? And EA has kind of gotten complacent. They've gotten comfortable with being the only real NHL game out there. I mean, there's Roblox NHL too, right? I don't think anybody other than kids is really playing Roblox NHL. Maybe there'll be people that disagree with me. Maybe there are some older Roblox NHL gamers, but I don't think that's really the case. I think it's mainly kids playing that. So the rest of us are stuck playing EA games, right? And it just makes you wonder, like, how much better would the games be if you had competition, if you had some just healthy competition, right? Would 2K be pushing? Yeah, because I would say that at the time with this game, like with what 2K was doing, and I remember just 2K versus EA, like they were both putting out some pretty good games. Because if you were playing, like NHL 10 was good too. NHL 10 was good. NHL 11, that's when EASHL comes out. That's when, like, they were pushing each other. And then all of a sudden you get this kind of,
And it
you
looks
know,
like they're ready
that's it,
down there
2K's
to get
out.
things going again.
And EA's still going, but that's when you start seeing a little repetition from EA, and they start kind of just resting on their laurels a little bit, and they're like, oh well, we don't really have to change much. I mean, we're the only ones left, right? So
The neutral zone.
just keep. Oh, we got to get in the fight here. My fight. All right, we got to get in the fight, guys. We got it. We got it. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Unreal. I mean, like, look at these player models, man. Like, this is solid. This is a really solid. The fighting, I remember, was so difficult. Oh, my God, I'm getting my ass kicked. Holy moly. All right, we got a punch in there. Oh, Talbot just kicked my ass. Holy. Like, this looked really good for its time. I'm probably going to have to visit NHL 10 just to see what 2010's version of EA's game looked like against this. But this looks great, man, for its time. This looks great. You know, and just to think, like, if they just kept going. But yeah, the competition and what that would have brought, what different game modes they could have done. I mean, I'll go probably check it out after this game's over, show you guys what they were already doing. I think the franchise on this was pretty cool. They had like a skybox where you could go look at your awards and little pictures and stuff. It was just so much cool little things that they were doing. Obviously, gameplay wise, look, I'll keep it a buck with you guys. EA's gameplay was stronger than this gameplay. It was absolutely stronger. It still is to this day. But if they had more time, if they had more of an opportunity to keep building on what they had, where would they have gone? Would they have had better gameplay than EA? Maybe. Oh, we gotta drive the Zamboni. So this was another little cool feature that they had back in the day, which, again, just I think this speaks to who was behind the game at not the freaking Best Buy Zamboni, man. That's hilarious. I think this speaks to like who was behind the game at 2K and just the games in general, because I would say EA was in a pretty similar boat in that you had people that knew what hockey fans wanted. Like, this is awesome. This is hilarious. I mean, look at this. You could just go try this Zamboni between periods. It's something little, and you're not going to do this every single game. But the fact that this was an option, and if you wanted to do it, it was something fun that they had in their game. It's like, yes, this is the type of stuff that you guys need to make a solid hockey game. Like, you need it to be fun. You need little things like this that it just works. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, there were some mini games in 2K as well that were great. Like, they were on the right track. They were doing what you would want to see from a game like this. And NHL today, what are they doing to keep the game fresh, to keep the game fun? What little ads are they making like this? I would say not many. Like, do you have little, okay, they have the mascot mode, and that's it, really. I mean, what else do you have other than mascots? Not much. They don't really have any, like, skill stuff you can work on. And again, these aren't major components of the game. Oh my God, I'm crashing. Oh, babe. Okay, we're fine. We're doing all right. We're like 66% here. Okay. All right. We've got time. Maybe I'm kind of free. It's just kind of going crazy now. I've gone, oh my God. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get 100% here, guys. But again, this is like stuff like this. They just don't have it in the games today. And even EA back then, they didn't have much stuff like this either, and 2K did. And that tells me that the people at 2K, they were thinking of hockey completely differently. They wanted the game to look good. Presentation was big for them. Obviously, you could see it. I mean, it looked really good. And something, if you notice from the gameplay in that first period, like, it really felt like actual hockey. And look, again, they were using 2010 engines. I get it. It doesn't look as great as it could today, but they were thinking the right way. They wanted it to really look like and feel and sound like a hockey game, and it did. It did. And you couple that with stuff like this, again, the direction that they were heading, keeping it fun, keeping it true to hockey, which is something that I think they've kind of lost touch with today. Like I'm sorry, but stupid DLCs for ESHL today, having a moose head as your player, like, okay, is it fun? Sure. Can you have him in the game? Sure. But a skin isn't enough. Okay, we'll take that. I'm good enough to resurface the ice at the local rink. Okay, look at that. That wasn't bad. But again, skins aren't. That's not. Who's gonna remember that? I remember this. I remember the Zamboni driving. I thought that was so cool. It was a little thing, but I'll remember that for years and years and years. And it was something so small, but this shows that 2K understood what the people playing the game wanted from a hockey game. And if they just had more time, who knows what else they could have done with it, right? And I talk about different things that the games could do today. Obviously, I've spoken about EASHL, how you can make it similar to what the 2K product has in NBA, and you can create a city. Hockey's version, I think, would be kind of an outdoor village. But other than that, like, okay, what else could you do? I think you can improve on the Be a Pro for sure, and Be a Pro is a huge component of the NHL fan. People love Be a Pro. People have loved it for years. That's been that's probably one of the most popular modes in NHL offline for sure. People, you want to create a guy, you want to go win the Stanley Cup finally. A goal, let's go. Patty Kane, 2010 Patty Kane. What a stud. You see that goal horn's great. They were definitely doing the right things. I'm telling you guys, they really understood what a hockey game should feel like when you play it. And again, going back to those game modes, what else you could do? The Be a Pro, like I was saying, it's such a big part of the game, and they don't care about it anymore. I know, and I remember early Be a Pro days and how fun it was. I haven't touched Be a Pro in a long time, and I know they've messed with it a little bit, but it's nowhere near where it should be. You need an immersive mode. I think you could do something, honestly, where you live your, and this is a bit of a stretch, but why not? Why not have, like, really live the life of a hockey player? Like, really make it realistic, right? You wanna stand out. If you want to create a game that is really above and beyond the other sports games, really change it up. Change it up. Do something that stands out, that makes you unique, that makes people talk about, like, oh my god, like, you see what NHL is doing? Like, they got, like, a real, like, you could just to live the life of a hockey player. You can, all, like, everything that goes into it. I mean, these guys, their story, it's like there's so much that goes into the people playing the game. And hockey players are such great personalities. Like, I know that obviously media, when they do media interviews, and when they just say, you got to get pucks deep, and you got to, they give cookie cutter answers, but beneath that, hockey players are very, very interesting people. A lot of them are. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them are. There's some characters in the game, and you can run with that. There's so many different angles that you can take, and from the beginning, have them play through your junior career, but, like, really, really play through it, the ups and downs, write stories. I mean, that's what the 2K basketball game started doing, right? They just started, right? You got people to write stories, to make your guy have a story, to give him something. Do something like that. Make it interactive. Make it so you want to really play that game mode. And that's something that I feel like's been lost when it comes to just gaming in general, not even just hockey, but gaming in general, that there's no emphasis on the single player experience anymore. And sometimes when you go back and you revisit a game like this, you realize that the reason that we all wanted to start playing online so much is because the games offline were so good and so fun. that it made you just say, man, can you imagine playing this with your friends? Like how much like cooler that would be. But you still had an appreciation for the single player aspect of the game. And I mean, do people even really talk about campaigns in video games anymore? Do people talk about really play games alone anymore? And like that's okay. It doesn't make you a loner or antisocial or anything. Like, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but I feel like that's kind of the connotation that comes with it now is that if you play single player, like, all right, that's weird. Like, who plays single player game? But like, there's still a huge group of gamers that want that. And when your single player experience is as subpar as it is today, with so many games, NHL included, I mean, what are we doing here? Right? What are we doing? And these games back then, this game here was great. I mean, I'm playing it. I've been playing it for probably like 2 hours before I even did this video. I've just been playing this game. I'm like, this is fun. This is a fun game to play offline. You don't need an online mode. And that's the tell of a game that understands who's on the other side, who's playing it. And the people making the game get what truly makes a game fun is whether or not you can play it alone, and if you can play it for hours and hours, and then you also say to yourself, man, online would be pretty cool. I kind of want, like, what could they do online? And then that's when you can really throw in some different stuff. And I think that's where 2K's head was at. I think that's the direction that they were heading. And obviously, NBA 2K shows you, yeah, that's kind of where the studios were, that's what they were thinking, that's what they were feeling. And they probably would have done something similar with NHL. And now I hope that we see a return, and whether or not it's 2K or not, maybe it's a different developer, but I think it's time for someone to come along and give EA a challenge. Give EA a challenge, because I think the reason that the EA games have become as stagnant as they are, and they don't hit the same anymore. It's not because all the people playing now, we're all getting older, and we just, we don't, you're not as good as the game, as the players today, and blah, 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 right? Because, that's what people will say, like, you just suck at the new games, so, that's why you don't like them. I'm not that bad at the new NHL. I'm pretty good. I can hold my own, I'd like to think. But I also know the difference between, again, what made these games special and what's missing from the games today. And it's just, again, it's because you just don't have that playability. Oh, like, I don't remember. You could play now on these games, and it was fun. Who plays play now today as often as they did back in the day? Not many. Not many. You go straight to the online, and then the online gets boring because they do a subpar job with the online. There's not enough to do in the online game modes, and then that's why your game dies way earlier than it should, because there was just no attention to detail. I mean, you didn't talk about the GM mode and the lack of care with the GM modes, and nothing, like, no new game mode. Why can't we do a different type of game mode? Like, we talked about a story mode for, making a more realistic Be a Pro, having fun with that. Make a beer league mode. Have a beer league. Do something a little goofy like that. Do a beer league mode. I mean, you got a lot of people playing this game that play beer league. Connect with those people. Connect with the people that are playing beer league, because they're playing NHL more than anybody else, right? And I'm speaking for myself as a person that has played quite a bit of beer league. Yeah, why not? Do something like that. There's options, there's angles that you could go. You could cater to your middle-aged audience, to your older audience, with do more throwbacks, like, honor the history of the game of hockey. Have some vintage do so. Can you imagine if they made it so, like, the game could look like a game from the 1970s? I mean, obviously most people, aren't gonna, people that were watching hockey in the 70s probably aren't playing a hockey video game today, but pay your respects to that part, because that's a huge part of the history of the game. And I think all fans of all ages would genuinely appreciate that, like actually experiencing, like broadcast it like you would back then, right? Do it in black and white, something different. It's just right. Like come up with something, just mix it up. But again, respect the game that we're playing. And that's what it all comes down to. And I think that's where EA has lost its way today, is that you have people that don't respect or understand the game the way that you would hope the people creating the hockey game would. And I'm sorry, but I think a lot of you guys watching and a lot of you guys playing the game today and playing, I mean, I've read a bunch of comments of people that are just, they haven't even bought an NHL in years because they don't even need to see they don't even need to see what's going on. Like they know what's going on with the game today, and they're like, I want nothing to do with that. I'm fine. All right, I'm good. And I think those people I think you guys would do a much better job at coming up with ideas. I just threw a few out, but I'm sure I've seen it. I've seen what people have been saying and what they liked about the game, what they didn't like about the game. And that to me shows a true depth of understanding of hockey, what hockey is, how hockey should feel, what matters. At the end of the day, the people consuming the game, the people playing the game, like you guys are the ones that really know your stuff, and it feels like not enough of you have a seat at the table at EA. I don't know who has a seat at the table at EA anymore. I know that there's a lot of content creators that have a seat at the table that, I'm sorry, but a lot of them don't understand the game. A lot of them are new to the game. And do you need to cater to newer people for hockey? Yes, you absolutely do. If you want to grow the game, if you want to grow your video game, you need people from all over the place playing. You need people that have never been exposed to hockey to get into hockey. But you can't leave out the people that have the deepest knowledge of the game, because if there's a disconnect with those people, it doesn't matter how many new people you bring in, because it's just going to be chaos. It's going to be chaos from just all over the place. And that, to me, that's the state that we're kind of in with the game now. It just, hold on, I'm going to go into look at this. They had a pond hockey mode. Hopefully my emulator can handle this. I don't even remember this. Yeah, we'll go with, oh, you can just pick a hole. Okay, yeah, we'll do this. I mean, look, I can't wait to see what this look. I don't even remember this. Yeah, we'll get, oh, goalies aren't, okay. Ryan Whitney. That's awesome. Love that. All right. I don't even remember this game mode. Oh, okay, I'm playing against, okay, now I understand. I was like, why am I picking so many positions? All right. All right, are we good? Are we ready? Yes, we are ready. But again, you need, and look at this. This is, you have an outdoor rink. This looks exactly. Oh, there might be music there. I don't know what they're doing with that, so I'm not going to play the game mode, but you guys saw it, I think. Like, that looks exactly like what you have in EA's version of the game today in NHL 25. What's the difference? Right? And I think, so unfortunately, I don't know if I'm going to be able to play these game modes because they might be playing music in the arena and the copyright fund. But yeah, they had a pond hockey mode that looks exactly like Drop In looks today. They had mini rink stuff, 2-on-2 mini rink hockey, a playoff mode, shootout, obviously, franchise, which was awesome. Like, there were things to do here. There were things to do, and again, they were just scratching the surface. What does NHL 25 have today that is truly like a massive improvement on this? If you just have an outdoor rink like that looks exactly, which is exactly what it is, no, I'm not going to say that you're doing a good job, because you've done nothing to change the game, to make the game better in 15 years. 15 freaking years. But anyway, that's pretty much all I got for you guys. I wanted to talk a little bit about my thoughts on just 2K in general, what they could have done, and kind of, where it stacks in history, why so many people want to see 2K again, and I think why a 2K game coming out now would really just benefit hockey in general, and would benefit the people playing the video game in general overall, both fans of the EA portion of the series and the 2K portion. I think it would be great to have some competition. Competition never hurts. But that's all I got for you guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to drop them in the comment section down below. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you guys again soon.